Hi guys, I'm gonna let a couple people get in, um, but I wanted to basically come back on here really quick just to talk about a lot of times what you go, or you have a lot of people in this world that try to spiritually attach to you that may not be in alignment with where you're going and who you are as a person, where you're going on this journey. And see, there's a lot of wrongs that's about to be made right in this season just because of how it was done and the predicament and situation that it left you in, um, which was not fair to you. And a lot of times I think that people did not care because they thought they were benefiting from this. I don't think a lot of people thought through how that was going to affect them or how it would come back to haunt them or their families based on decisions and choices that they made when it came to you. Um, Sometimes the truth can be hard to speak about. When we talk about these people who continuously use you, abuse you, take advantage of you, a lot of people don't know what all you've had to fight through. They don't know how hard it truly was for you to get through a lot of the obstacles that were in your way, that were placed there by enemies who wanted to stagnate your growth, who wanted to put a complete halt to your elevation and ascension and journey. You will never understand why. You don't know what was going on, if these people were processing, how it was going to have you. But I'm telling you, because of who you are and how you handled everything in this season, that friend that wasn't your friend, those family members who snaked you, those exes who stomped on you and used you as stepping stones to get to where they wanted to be, significant others of exes who worked against you, um, groups, cults even. Sometimes cults don't always have to be what we say, we demonize that, but a lot of the times a cult just means a group that was formed um, by one specific person, or this one specific person may have groups of women or groups of men who are willing to do whatever it is that they tell them to do. Whatever the situation was, these people are going to need you before you need them. Mark my words about that. They will need you before you need them. A lot of people think that you're going to need them. They think that you're going to come begging to them, that you're going to come pleading to them for whatever. But after the way people did you and they didn't have to do you like that, and whenever they decided to do this to you, there was bits and pieces of information that was being held off from you. A lot of people, like I said in my previous video, I had to cut it short. People weren't coming and telling you what was being done behind your back. They were playing up in your face, making it seem like they didn't have this or this, what was going on. And meanwhile, in between time, the whole time, people was out here looking on different ways that they can snake you. Some of these people were looking on different ways that they can snake you after gauging how successful or how much money they felt like you were bringing in. You had a lot of these people that was in your family, man, that sat back and was trying to gauge, well, you should be making this amount of money, almost what you call that pocket watching you. And when they couldn't get close enough to figure out what it is that you had going on, they tried to put plans together to put handlers around you, right? Pimps around you even. People who they knew wasn't no good for you, but they needed to figure out what you had going on so they could figure out how to snake you or how to block you. The truth is stranger than fiction, especially when it boils down to chosen ones and generational curse breakers. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people who we think love us and people who we think that we can trust, we really can't. Because they sit back and they do things like this. They sit back, and whenever things are organically going well for you, successfully, things are going well for you, you know, you are prospering, you are going to the next level of your life, people know that you're putting together the bits and pieces of your life. They didn't go against you because you were doing wrong. They went against you because you were doing right. They didn't go against you because you were a loser. They went against you because you are a winner. A winner. You are a victor. You are a conqueror. I think a lot of people took you for something that was weak, took you for something that they could toy with, that they could play with, to fund or sponsor their own lifestyle, personal endeavors. And I think nobody cared for you, really. It's not a thing, I know. When somebody willing to do that and they can't even so much as come from out of it and try to explain to you what they did to you, because see, you see a lot of times you gotta look at the person say. When a person is spewing things out of their mouth about you being abused or about your finances being restricted, they're almost trying to taunt you. Not almost, they are. They're taunting you because they know you're not in the same financial standing that you was before they decided to put these groups and plans together to snake you and to harm you and to steal from you, right? So when they know what they've done to you and they know what you can do within your own merit, within your own grasp and reach, and then they sit here and they taunt you and they say, well, what car are you going to drive? And how big is this? And are you going to get this? So pay for this. Oh, come on. Go get that right there. Go do that. You think that's somebody that care for you? That's somebody that know you're not in the same financial standing. And instead of people trying to move with a certain level of grace, of respect, of dignity, they wanted to kick you when you was down. That's why they did that, because they were intimidated and jealous and envious when you were up. Whether these are masculine energy or feminines, whether these are people, your mother, your father, your aunts, cousins, ex-friends, ex-lovers, or whoever, mark my words when I tell you, because it never ceases, it never fails. I just finished talking to a friend that went through a similar situation where someone was trying to demean her, not trying, make it very hard for her on the workplace, only for her to end up making more money where she went. She's able to retain more of that money when she cuts certain deals. And she has somebody in her corner that's backing her, taking her to the next level because they believe in her. And this person was going around saying that they made her. See, you had people, and it's so crazy how she was telling me this, because you're going from the pit to the palace. You're going from the dungeon to the mansion. You are going from broke to rich. And I'm telling you, everything what people done against you, thinking that they were prohibiting you, limiting you, setting you back to square one, God is about to do it for you overnight. Not only is God about to do it for you overnight, I mentioned to you before in my previous video about time clocks, about time stopping or time resetting itself. So because God knows you were robbed of your time, you weren't just robbed of your energy and robbed of your resources. You were robbed of your time. You were robbed of your energy. You were robbed. You were robbed. They robbed you because they were jealous of you, of what you were doing, of who you was reaching, of where you was going. That person that told my friend, I went around talking about something, I made you. That girl got her own license, did that in her own time, her own merit. You did not make her, because if you made her, you would have been the one paying for her license. You did not get her the people in her life that helped her secure certain deals or build over here. So you did not make her. You may have been around her. You may have opened up her networking opportunities, right? Put her on to different events and different ways of working, but no, you did not make her. These are people who wanted notoriety and they wanted status, they wanted fame off of your back, and then they wanted to leave you after robbing you. They wanted you to rot there and they wanted you to wither off. That's one sick, cold person. I don't care if it's a group of men, a group of women. I don't care if it's your mother, your father. Somebody been coming after you because they don't want the truth to get out. You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all before, I said nobody has to go that hard unless you are speaking the truth. And they're trying to bind you, crush you, do whatever they do. But I keep telling you, I say it to you not for you to be scared. I say it to you for you to be aware of what's going on and for you to up your protection and your prayer game. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, it doesn't matter about what a person wants for you and how they're continuously going back, re-upping, getting people saying, hold on, let's go ahead, see, they're getting back, they're talking, let's go back, get it started again, let's go back, get it started again. Let me tell you something. When the day come that they realize that sitting up here and coming up against you was the worst move that they could ever have made in their whole entire lives. And see, I keep telling you, they're not going to understand it right now because they think that they're doing something against you. They think that they're singling you out. But I keep telling you, these people wanted power and control and dominion over you because they still yet got power and control and dominion over their other numb nuts that they got up in a cult, in a group. Women, men alike, family members, whatever. These people don't have no sense. These people don't know when enough is enough for them, so they continuously accept abuse. They accept disrespect, either because they get paid, they want to make sure their bills get paid, their children get taken care of. For whatever the reason, these people have already been broken down. So don't nobody care about them. The focus is on you because they're trying to get you there. They're trying to get you to the point where they break you down so bad. And I don't know who this is for. But see, I'm going to speak my truth because I'll be damned if you think that I'm going to suffer in silence. And you think that you're going to come for my businesses, my platforms. And you think that by sitting up here and coming for me, that you're stopping me. God placed me in this position. If he hired me, nobody can fire me. If he's appointed me, do you understand what I'm saying? Nobody can demote me and get me to forfeit my position, my possessions is what I was about to say. Nobody can get me to forfeit or give up my position, my destiny, and my forward progression and movement. You understand what I'm saying? These people are going to need you before you need them because they tried to do everything to crush and break you down and destroy you. And because of this one-sided tunnel vision agenda that they had against you, they don't even see how they're about to fall into the same trap. Fall on that same sword that they were pulling out to stab you with. They're about to fall in the same traps and the same holes that they wanted you to fall into. There's about to be a reset in your life. Oh my God. It's so sad when you are who you are in this world and people can't let you be that. I'm trying to tell you something. This is real. God is real. Demons, demonic energy is real. People, I told you, people robbed you of your energy. Why do you think they will rob you of your energy? Your energy is potent. Your energy is abundant. If somebody felt like they had to go this far to rob you and to knock you up off your position, again, if God appointed you, nobody can take that position from you. He himself, the man above, has appointed you to be in this position, and you had these people coming back around trying to keep continuously go up against you in these cults, in these groups, in these organizations. They mothers are tied in, they are tied in, and I'm telling you, you got tied up and tied in with the wrong group or with the wrong family. Let me tell you something, they tried the wrong individual. They most definitely did. I think they thought that you was some kind of weak, another stepping stone that they could build up off of, and it's really given, I keep telling you, a fall from grace. The mother was going around playing a certain way, befriending the same people that she was using her son to come in and fraud. So if people were out here working together against you to fund and sponsor whatever sick, vain, lavish lifestyle that they wanted to have for themselves off the backs of people who work hard for theirs, who got other mouths to feed and things that you were trying to do with your life, are you not supposed to reach there? Are you not supposed to achieve that? Because people out here want to be selfish, because people out here want to be greedy, because people out here want to be criminal. Are you not supposed to get to where you are or where you want to be in life? Are you not supposed to get that home? Are you not supposed to have that business? Are you not supposed to be able to live a certain lifestyle? They wanted you to have nothing. And see, that's the worst thing that these people could have done, was to not even want you to have the bare necessities to be able to sustain yourself and take care of yourself and your family, after sitting up here and frauding you and robbing you and stealing from you blind. Do you understand me what I'm saying? And they think they're not going to get caught because they've done this before. Whoever it is that they know, whoever it is that they work with, better get prepared. Everybody better go ahead and pull out their best man. Everybody better go ahead, whatever they doing, go ahead and tell these people to take their best shot. Because I'm telling you something. I'm telling you, baby, you better listen to me to what I'm saying. And thank you to, I want to shout out Terrence Kendrick. And I want to shout out, oh, Jesus Christ, girl. I'm going to shout you out on my community board. I want to shout out Michelle. I want to shout out, oh, Jesus, I wish I could go on. I don't want my live to stop. Hold on. I knew it was Dana. I had to go ahead and check it to make sure. Miss Dana Hill and Terrence Kendrick, thank you so much. What you sent me, I can go ahead and go get some more milk and stuff for my baby. I cried when you sent me that, because I knew I had, you know what I'm saying, not to try to tell my business, but, you know, and I was just like, hold on, how my thing just went back up. And I checked it, and y'all had messed around and sent me what y'all sent me. So I'm a go use that and go get the baby some more milk and get him some more food and stuff for the house. Thank y'all so much. I don't know if y'all were listening to my videos or what have you, but thank y'all so much. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jason. I got a list right here. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Damien. Okay. Thank you, Kendrick. Thank you, Dana. All right. Thank you, Yana. Okay. Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay. Thank you, Lola. Thank y'all so much for what y'all doing, because you don't have to do that. But I say that to say that the pennies that you get from heaven, and people just don't want to believe that. People don't want to believe in God. And I'm going to tell you something. When I went through what I went through, and I cried to my friend, you know what I'm saying? I cried because she didn't know. I don't think nobody really knew how bad it was when I was staying in that shelter and when I was pregnant and things like that. But people blessed me because I blessed other people. I was going, before I even stayed and I was going giving back to different homeless shelters when I was in Houston. And I was just going around giving clothes and stuff that I wasn't wearing no more. I think I gave away some I gave away a Kate Spade bag that I have. I had got some UGG boots and stuff, a lot of stuff that I had bought, that I had went around to these different shelters, and I was just giving it away. A lot of things that I had, I did not care to give it away. That's why when I went through what I went through by trusting my baby father, I didn't lose my mind. I didn't lose my cool. I just said that I'm going to rebuild. But a lot of things that he said, talking about he going to have me tied up in a dungeon and he going to take all my checks. He would call me a goofy bitch. And I would try to leave the house. He would, didn't want me to leave, but acting like he didn't want me to stay there, acting like he wanted me to get out. Would flip over my stuff when I would say I would try to take my stuff and leave. He slapped me several times, just did away with my money, did stupid stuff with my money. I'm thinking I'm sending him stuff to help him out with his bills. He's sitting up here spending it to get liquor, and got chicks up in my face. You know what I'm saying? Got a chick on the couch and asked me to come around the house. She laying up on the couch, ain't even got her skirt on. All she had was some panties. And I remember her being afraid to get up from the couch because what was covering her was the covering. And that was so wild to me, because me and him had locked eyes. And I remember screaming when I was like, I'm not getting another abortion. You know, I say you treat me like I'm not human. I remember stomping on the stairs, and I just kept saying it. I kept saying, you treating me like I'm not human, like I don't have a heart, like I can't hurt, like I can't die from this shit. What you doing? You know, and then you won't go off. You won't go away and leave me alone. When I block you, that's me signaling to you that I'm willing to give you what you want. Go off there and go find it. But then you want to come back, oh, boo, booski, this and that, send me 300, send me 400. When I say that I'm not your baby, that's when he want to reiterate exactly. So he was very nasty, a very nasty man, a very vain, foul man. I do not care how much money he has. I do not care what AI skill sets he got. I do not care what condo he stay in. I do not care about anything what he got going on. My truth is my truth. If he treated me like that, you're not just going to sit up here and tell me, oh, he just singled you out. Because lo and behold, he didn't. There were other women that were coming out saying that that's what he do. He uses people and then all kind of stuff. You know, and the baby mama ain't no good, because I wouldn't doubt for 1 second that she's sitting her duck ass back somewhere accepting it, because as long as he's there for her child, for her daughter, and as long as she getting a payout and he making sure that she paid and don't have to struggle like how he trying to make somebody else struggle, she cool with it and she's complacent with it and she's compliant. That's the word I'm looking for. Because it don't make sense from him to her to his mother how any of them acted. It don't make sense to, it doesn't make sense to me. And a lot of times I keep telling myself when I pray about it that it was a setup. And I think people really think that this was funny and comical because a lot of people couldn't stomach. Some people can't stand for you to get to where you need to be in life. Going back to the friend I just talked to. People be trying to thinking that they blackballing you in whatever industry and field that you're in. I remember him throwing in my face saying that HR is going to be obsolete in the next couple of years. Well, you know what? What's not obsolete? My degrees aren't obsolete. The years of experience that I got in corporate America is not obsolete. Okay? So I don't, it's when somebody goes that hard to try to make you down to nothing, somebody has to feel like they have to go that hard to bring you down to nothing. I see how, I was just talking to my friend Clarissa Shields' brother, right? And shout out to him, you know, for giving me a chance and working with me, you know. And we were talking about it. And as we were talking, I was like, when Papoose came in her life, Clarissa already had her shit together. Papoose did not make Clarissa. Clarissa does not make Papoose. Okay? Together, they are a force. All people had to do was join in with you and not try to rob you blind and take you down to nothing. See, that's why judgment is about to get passed down on people, because they felt like they had to rob you and constantly have you in a state of poverty, rob you blind and have you down in order to feel good about themselves and where they are. And see, they pick and choose who they want to do this to. It be the strongest ones that they try to break. It be the strongest ones with morals intact, and they're not just going to accept anything from anybody. And when you finally decide that you want to love yourself and stick up for yourself, people get it in their minds and their brains that they're going to punish you for it. And whether exes felt like they had to punish me because I didn't want to continuously be your punching bag. Let me tell you something. I gave you good memories, and I gave you a hell of a lot of money. People got free trips off of me. People got their rents paid because of me. People got bills paid because of me. And in the end, I had to be up in a homeless shelter. So I won't forget that. I will never, ever forget that shit. I would never, ever forget how people wanted to meme me after things I've done. You know, books I've written, businesses that I've started. You understand what I'm saying? Certain side hustles that I had to sell off to other people, because at that time, what mattered to me wasn't my hustles. What mattered to me is putting food on the table for my son. So that's cool. I'll start another business and get it back up. I'm a builder. That's what I do. When I go to God and I get down on my knees and I pray and I ask him to give me the power within me, invested in me, Father God, to do what it is that I have to do out here. At times I be tired, but I look at how I push through and I prevail, because the only way that I'm gonna get through this is through hard work and perseverance. And let me tell you something, I'm gonna give you a run for your money if you think that you finna sit up here and have me walk away from what I built. I would never walk away from certain things that I know that I built, that I put time and I invested time into. So that's why I'm telling you, a lot of people are having judgment passed down upon them because oh my God, they robbed you, they played in your face, they work with family, they work with exes. I don't care if somebody manipulated these people to go up against you. They had their own brain, they had their own mind. They could have made decisions for themselves, especially when they got around you to figure out who you was. You're not going to tell me people didn't see the innocence in you. Nobody cared. I remember him telling me one time, talking about some, ain't no love out here in the streets. Well, let me tell you something. Love may not be out here in the streets, and the streets may not be for me. And I may not be a whole lot of people cup of tea. And I may have been homeless and pregnant, and them women may have treated me very harshly, because they found out, I tell you, I'm not finna go against God. When God tell me because you had your MBA, and because you had your YouTube channel, and people look you up, and then you start seeing how they change and how they influence other girls up in there to talk about me, I could have lost my cool. I could have went to jail, not just for assault. I could have went to jail for murder if I would have decided to go out there and unplug a TV and bust inside her head and bust inside her skull. I could have really lost my cool with the way that people tried me, not only in that shelter. I was already down. There was nothing for you to be jealous of. But yet they were sitting up here purposely not taking me to go get my son's medicine, coming to my face telling me, making faces behind my back, because I checked them about it. I said, so you go 4 days and you knew that my son needed the spray up in his nose, and I had to put the drops in his nose so that he can fucking breathe. You wait 4 days to come over to the house to tell me that you couldn't do it because it got past you, only to make a face behind my back when I check you about it. And it's so crazy that the lady who donated money to me was Dana, because that was the lady's name in the shelter. Her name was Dana. Sitting up here, and I don't know if you was influencing them other girls to treat me the way that they treated me, but let me tell you something. It first started with her. Put the baby in one hand and hold it. They ain't care. Screaming that shit through the whole house. Then they had to come back and tell her, no, Victoria needs to be in here because my baby gave me a 3rd-degree tear. That's damn near equivalent to having a C-section. I couldn't walk. If I could walk, I would have went to the Bible study. I never gave anybody any issues about doing my chores, doing what needed to be done in there. But they felt like they had to take it a step further on top of that. Never disrespected them. It would get so bad. Not only was they stealing my food, and my wallet came up missing. I remember staying in that house. Because, see, that's when I lost it. I said, somebody trying me. I don't know if because I talk about God on here, y'all think that y'all could just try people. Baby, God is what kept me. God is what got me to this point. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it misconstrued. Okay? I remember losing my cool because all my stuff was in my wallet. And I remember saying, I will burn this damn house down to the ground if my fucking wallet don't come up. If my wallet don't come up, all you hoes best go ahead and start calling 911 and tell them that I did it. Because I'm finna burn this shit down to the ground if my wallet don't come up. And I remember I couldn't even get hot out the door because they were calling me saying, Victoria, Victoria. And I call around, I say, what's up? They say, look, check the bag. I say, what's in the bag? I say, pull the shit out the bag. They say, oh, look, Victoria, here your wallet. That's what I had to deal with. It got so bad. Like, they was telling people not to eat my food after having me slave and cook and do all that. Nobody wanted to eat my food. They were joking about that, and that's fine. That's cool. Okay? But before, they would always eat my food. Talking about son, Victoria made good cornbread and all that type of stuff. It was like whatever was going on, they were playing one way in my face, going back, telling the staff. I even overheard the staff saying, you heard what Victoria told so-and-so? Women were inviting me to come to their home. I didn't know what that was about because she was like, oh, you could spend the night and I want to just take you away from the shelter, this and this and that, and just, you know, this and that. So I I think I went to her house and spent one night over in her house. And I remember, and this is why I tell you about pets can feel spirits. And I remember her dog, Blue. I love Blue. And I don't know what it was. He just reminded me of my dog that I grew up, Biggie. And I remember, I don't know if they kept Blue in the cage or whatever. I'm not going to talk back. Blue loved me. Blue took to me. I remember he was glued to me to the hip. When I would go to the room to go take my bath or whatever, and she would be like, Blue, don't you come in the room. Don't you come in the room. And she was like, you got to tell Blue not to do it because he listened to you. And I say, Blue, stay there. Don't come in the room. I'm going to come out after I take. And Blue would sit right there. He wouldn't listen. I remember when I was in the kitchen and the dog came up to me. And this was what I didn't forget. When I tell you that dog would not leave from in front of me because she was trying to get me to go outside or get him to go outside, Blue would not get up. Blue sat right there, sat down. We were in the kitchen. He was in front of me. He would not get up. And it reminded me of my dog, Biggie, the dog that I grew up with, my family dog. And I asked her one day because she tried to say like Blue was this vicious dog and he don't act like that with new people that he don't know. I say, well, he loved me. He listened to me. Blue didn't give me no problems. He was glued to me to the hip. I say that to say, this same woman that invited me in her home was the same woman that tried to pull my baby cat back when Eli was losing his hair. She's the same woman that stood out there and was having hours and hours long conversation after bringing me back from her house with another staff member who was notorious for talking about me and having other women go to her house to talk about me. See, when girls get comfortable and talking shit about you in the living room where they know people can hear, trust and believe somebody done enabled them and was the battery in their back that made them feel like if you talk, as long as it's with Victoria, if you talk bad about Victoria, you talk Victoria, I ain't finna get you in trouble, because she was so loud. That's what was going on with me. They would say 1 minute they don't want to eat the food, but as soon as somebody invite me around, because they was like, Victoria, you could come around. It was a heavyset girl, and she ain't play the business, but she was cool with me. She was like, Victoria, I'm cooking come to me something pasta she was cooking. And I remember one of the girls was like, she didn't want to eat the food because she came and she said, Victoria, I got a plate for you. Tell me why I went round to the house, got over there just for her to get out her room and eat the damn plate in my face after saying that she didn't want to eat it because all the girls in there was beef. So whoever they was beefing with, they didn't want to eat their food whenever they was cooking. When I finally lost my cool, and I'm telling you, I was about to beat that girl ass in there, and she was all up in my face talking about some, oh, why you slammed the door? Because they favored her, things got real weird. I mean, they was going in my closet when I wasn't there talking about something. We was trying to find clothes for Eli. You could find clothes right there in the front of the bed. Why you had to go in my closet? They was doing stupid stuff. That's when I knew I had to go. Because as soon as me and this girl fell out, they demoted her and had her go back to the other house and kept me where I was at. Right? And because they did that, no one liked me. I'm talking about, I remember going to the hospital. I was so sick. I was throwing up, vomiting. They had to take blood. So my arm was weak. My left arm was weak. And it was the day that they had to do deep cleaning or whatever. And I remember I told the lady, I said, you got me cleaning the kitchen. You got me cleaning the play area, right? All them toys I had to sanitize. And on top of cleaning the microwave, they only gave the other two girls the bathroom. So I said, this shit ain't fair. But I was gonna do it to earn my keep. But that day my left arm was weak, so I couldn't do it. And I remember going to the staff, I said, you insane if you think that I'm finna do both of these. I can't do that. You clearly see I got this big thing on my arm where they done took blood, and I cannot do that. I kid you not. This girl who act like she was so cool with me, the staff went to her and said, do you mind doing the play area for Victoria? Victoria can't do that. And she said, why? Knowing I went to the hospital and I was there for a couple hours, knowing I was there, why? Because she just got out of the hospital and she cannot do it. Didn't say nothing after that. I said, wow, these people don't give a fuck about me. And that's cool. I didn't expect them to care for me. They didn't know me. But I didn't do nothing to nobody up in that shelter for them to feel like they had to treat me like that. I promise you that. You got my son involved. You taking days and days And then for me to get his medicine, that's when I knew my son didn't do nothing to you. You understand that? My son did nothing to you. I was already down. There was no more low that I could go. And y'all supposed to be a nonprofit to help people. And this is the shit you do. This is the staff members that you hire. People who act and favor people and treat people certain kind of way based on who they like and who they don't like. Like I said, everybody, this was a trickling effect. It was a domino effect. When they thought that they was coming up against me, taking from me, you took money from me. I damn near sent this guy over $10,000, and I gotta beg you for $500. Sent your mama money because you want to spin this narrative that your mama got cancer and you have to go buy her medicine. You one sick ass individual. You, your mom, your baby mom, and all your other hoes that's tied up with you, and God ain't in you. And I keep telling you, whether they come back and need me or not, that's not the problem. You know, the principle for me is being able to move forward with my life and doing what I got to do for my son and speaking my truth. Whatever people thought that they was going to silence me, you're not going to silence me. I was dogged out. You knew that you dogged me out. You called me and he was like, I kind of dogged you out a little bit. A little bit? A little bit? You treated whores who was in the club better than you treated me. They got your money. I didn't get shit. And I wasn't a whore. Yet you called me that on numerous occasions. Like I said, the worst thing that I could have ever done for my life. And I know that it was a target on me. I know that still yet to this day, there are people who trying to, even with that girl talking about some, Victoria is following me. She's one of the people that has been following me and spiritually attacking me. If God ain't in you, I hope you go find God. Because when people don't like you and they seek out your destruction because of who you are, because of whatever it is that you got going on, these are the great lengths that people will be willing to go to take from you to ensure that you are not on that level, you are not on that platform, you are not succeeding in life, and you are not as seen and visible as you used to be. So whoever is out there who truly support me, because one thing I'm not finna do is suffer in silence. I don't, you know, the worst thing that you could ever do is not only take from a person and demean them and hurt them and abuse them, but on top of that, you're trying to set certain things around them so that they don't prosper and so that they can't build. That's somebody who knows. That's somebody who knows your strength. They know what you're set to do. And I keep telling you, whenever I feel weary, whenever I feel tired, not only do I look at my son, I go to Psalms and I go to Job. Last night, I cried over those two Psalms and Job. And I was reading Psalms 71, 91, Psalms 23, Psalms 123, Psalms 104. And I made my petition to God. And I say, I know you wouldn't have brought me this far to have that reach that I had if you were just going to allow someone to think that they can control me spiritually or whatever people have been trying to do. Is very weird. It's very weird what's been going on, because I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to daycares I had to switch my son out of because they were giving me issues in the office. And I told you this is when I was in and out of hotels and motels, and there would be cars that would be parked in front of my room just sitting there. I took pictures of them, went and reported it to the police. I remember there was a car who was parked, and I went behind to take a picture of his license plate. He must have been watching me watch him, because he pulled off so quick and went down to the other end of the parking lot. Like, why you doing that? Because I'm taking a picture of your license plate? People who I would see in the mirror. I'm coming out, they're in the mirror, and they're on the passenger side, reaching over to the driver's side, got a phone like this, like somebody trying to take screenshots and stuff. Like I said, whoever was making false reports on me, whether you was reporting me to the police or you was reporting me to CPS, because the daycares would say little stupid shit out their mouth when I would drop my son off. Mind you, my son, I make sure he take deep, thorough baths. My baby get bubble baths every time I have to give him a bath in his bathtub. Okay, even though I fucking struggled, the worst period of my time in my life where I struggled was at that shelter when I didn't have anything and I was trying to build it back up. And I wish I could have stayed a couple more months, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I could not be in that environment more longer because I was going to catch a charge. I was going to catch a fucking charge, and I didn't have nobody in Austin that would have been able to get my son. So therefore, my son probably would have been in the system and I would have been catching a fucking charge. All because people don't know how to treat certain people based on how they feel. When they envious of you, jealous of you, or intimidated of you, this is the shit that people want to resort down to doing. Grown women, 50 plus women, 35 and up women. See, I don't give a damn about what them little girls did, 25 and under, no more than 26. Because right after they did it, I started getting Facebook requests. They started watching my WhatsApp story. And I say, how the fuck you sit up here talking about something you don't like me, but you sending me Facebook requests after I leave the shelter? All these people reaching out to me, messaging me, talking about something. We want to know if you and Elijah is okay. If you cared anything for the safety of me and my son, you would have done a little bit more to set the checks and balances with not only your staff members, but them girls who was in there. Because it seemed like they was on a war path when it came to me. And the ones who was in position to determine who go to the grocery store, who get this and who get that and who gets to leave, was in bed with people who did not like me. You don't know what that feel like when you around people who are disgusted of you. Why is she even talking? That's the shit that was coming out of their mouth. Why is she even talking? I don't know why they don't like her. Eating food in front of me after you said you didn't want the plate. Because whoever cooked it, you was beefing with them. But you ate the plate in front of my face, all because she offered it to me. I done dealt with a lot of things in my life, boy. Let me tell you that. From family all the way down to ex-friends. And I don't think it's about nothing that I've been through that people could take away from me, take away from those experiences that I had. I have not been able to truly just be one within myself to find peace in who I am and what it is that I want to do for my life. And I knew I had to get out of the community. I knew I had to get out of my parents' home to be alive, because something in me had died a long time ago that I'm just not talking about because I don't care no more. I could die tomorrow. I could die next week. I just want people to know that at the end of the day, whatever is being said about me and on my name, I want it to come from my mouth. If it's going to come from anybody, it's going to come from me. And it's not going to come from somebody who's jealous of me, who's intimidated of me, who don't want to see the good in me. Because no matter what, my character is going to stand the test of time. And I think that at the end of the day, a lot of people realize that my character has stood the test of time. I didn't fold, I didn't bend, I didn't break. A lot of people I could have even damn sued. I could have really came for them if I wanted to. I let it go. You understand what I'm saying? You off, do what you got to do, and be great at it. And be a father to who you need to be a father to who you want to be a father to. But as far as me and mine go, after you sit up here and you call me a goofy bitch, you make faces behind my back after I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars to make sure that you can go to certain football games and enjoy yourself. I'm helping you out with your bills, even sent money to your mother. Sent money so you could send money to your cousin. Sent money so you could pay off other debts of money that you owe to other people, only for you to sit up here and shame the hell out of me. Talking about something, yeah, she gonna pay for everybody. Rounds on her. All up in chicks' face, talking about something if they finna come to the party, telling me that who they not screwing, but they screwing behind the scenes. Got these women coming for me and my confidence, saying it's a confidence factor. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times, a lot of people, don't realize what it is that they do. I don't think they realize you know, the impact that they made in your life in a negative manner. And so when I think about the times that, and it's not just him, it's other exes, coming to grips with how ex-friends hurt me by getting with exes of mine. And it's not so much the principle that they wanted to get with an ex of mine. It was what they told that ex. Y'all don't know pain. You don't know pain. You don't know pain like I know pain. You don't know defeat and suffering like I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you don't know it. And it's just over and over and over and over. I can't catch a break. I can't catch a fucking break. Unless I stay in my house, I can't catch a break. It's always something, somewhere, everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Every person I think that I could trust, I never thought in a million years that she would get up on my ex's dick and then try to sit up here and come for me. Telling bold-faced lies. I was like, wow. Wow. I mean, I had this issue before, since middle school, with girls who I thought were my friends, and they got with my boyfriends behind my, but I wasn't the one who sat up here and snaked you. I'm sorry. You the one who sat up here and decided to snake me. But you coming to me telling me let's not let boys. Only fast forward years later for these girls to call themselves kicking me out of a group when we get to high school. And I'm over a lot of that stuff. I'm telling you, I come on here and I tell y'all the pain I go through, because when you look at, okay, how Victoria got to where she got to, pain, baby. Pain that you better hope and get down on your knees and pray to God that you never have to go through. That you never have to have that shit embedded and imprinted in your fucking brain on women that you thought that you could trust. This hoe would compete with me all the way down to a Uno game. I be about winning, and then she cheat. And I say, I didn't put that card there. She said, oh, you didn't? What you put? This card, this card, this card? I remember her coming out her mouth and talking about some. At that time, I had got me a job as a tax manager. And went what I had to do to go ahead and get my license and my CPA. You feel me? And I was about to work for a prominent firm in Miami. And she was, at that time, I think she was just now starting a teaching gig. And she came out her mouth. And she knew I was struggling. She knew I was staying in the projects. Okay? And these people were going to offer me $155. It was going to offer me $155 a year. When I tell you, boy, I was so freaking happy. I was like, okay, I could finally get my life in order. And I remember sharing the news with her. And she was like, oh, what does that mean? What is a tax manager? What do they do? Is that hard? So what you have to do is just like sign papers? That's what this hoe said to me now. That's why that shit hurt so bad when I seen her get with my ex. Because this nigga don't even know the shit that this girl done took me through. And now I got to see y'all get into a full-blown fucking relationship. And this chick was never right to me. She was never my fucking friend. That's pain for you, boy. That's pain for you. Because I don't go off trying to demean people and tell people what I've gone through. You know what I'm saying? I take it. I wear it. I try to move on. I don't try to play victim. So nobody will ever know unless I come out and I go through and I go down the list on everything somebody done did and said against me. So she told my son, what you do? What does that require? What, you just push papers? And she went and came up with this idea talking about some, maybe we should switch jobs and see which one is the hardest. So you take my job and I take your job and let's see which one is the hardest. Right after that, not too long after that, I cut her ass off. And I took the flat. Even when my ex came to me talking about some, oh, Victoria, she said you just cut her off. Like, oh, woe is me. Woe is me, because I cut her off. Bitch was never right. She was never right in her damn brain. She needed to get cut off because she nice, nasty, and slimy. You would never know about her. You have to catch her in some shit. She had to compete with me all the way down to rendezvous. Dudes who wasn't even my dudes, who I was just screwing. And I hear the dude outside. I'm hearing him saying, what about your friend? And then that's when she want to close the door. Never thought she would sit up here and take it that far to get in a full-blown relationship with my ex-boy. And they held that shit down for years. That's why I can't get past what he did. You know, it may be on him. He may be sorry. He may be apologetic. He's told me several times, but he don't understand what she did to me and what he did by linking up with her. The damage has already been done. You gave this whole years. You gave her a relationship. You went on trips with her. I can't just erase that out of my mind. I'm sorry. So for somebody to go that far, you know, you evidently had to catch feelings for her, and that's hurt for me. That's hurt for me because I gave him 3 years of my life, and it's just every time something stupid has to happen with a relationship, with a friendship, with whatever, it always has to be dramatic. It always has to be like next level pain for me. And I went to God with it. I truly did. And that's why I'm telling y'all, you know, these are things that's happened to me over the years. Being abused, going to foster care, being told that I'm not going to be shit. This lady would send me to school with dookie braids in my hair and oversized shirts. And people would know, like, my mom would not dress me like that. That stuff is implanted in my head. You don't just get over that because, oh, you grow up and, you know, you got to get over it. You don't get over stuff like that, being told that you're not going to be shit and knowing that you got placed there because of abuse you went through. I mean, it was abuse that I never would have told on my mom. I never would do that to my mom. And the reason why I was in a predicament like that was because my teacher sat up there and lifted up my skirt, and we was in that situation. And still to this day, I feel bad, like it's my fault, like it's more that I could have done to avoid that situation. And even how people treated us in the community, like nobody wanted to come around my house because they found out what the situation was. There was even little stupid things being said about what got me in there, like it was another type of abuse other than physical child abuse. And I don't even know where that came from still to this day, but people be running their mouth in the grove and don't even understand what the hell they be talking about. That's why I be saying people need to really get up and get up on themselves and find something better to do than just sitting there talking bad about somebody, you know. But that's the world that we come from. And so when people be like, you know, Victoria, like how you got to where you are, and how was you able to sit there and deal with that? God. So when people want to try to figure out why I talk about God and why I hold on to him the way that I do, baby, you'll never understand the type of pain that is when you sitting up there holding on to Psalms and holding on to Job for dear life, praying that God just give you a break. Because I can't help how good I am. I can't help my light. I can't help what I want to come on here and what I want to talk about. I've saved a lot of people from suicide. A lot of people from giving up on their life and giving up on their children. People who are homeless still to this day. You understand what I'm saying? Who listen to me, give them encouragement. Baby, I keep my receipts. My baby's birth certificate got the address of the shelter that we was at. There is no reason for me to sit up here and lie about what I've been through. And I'm not finna sit up here and take it off his birth certificate either, because he's gonna know how hard I fought to obtain a certain lifestyle that I should have had before I had kids. Shit just keep coming up. It's just something just keep coming up. And so when you keep going through things like that, eventually you like, hold on. I got to find something that's gonna keep me holding on, because this ain't it. And God was that. I got deeper in tune with him than I ever have in my whole life because of pain. People brought me there when they shitted on me the way that they did. Men who got with me, I'm giving you my body, I'm giving you my money, and you go around want to talk about my hygiene to family members of mine, right? You want to go ahead and talk about just telling lies. Family I had to see laugh in my face, who found that shit comical because he kept taking me around to my aunt's house and stuff like that. I won't name no names, but they know who they are, and I never forgot. Telling me to sit on the couch while they go to the kitchen in my face and talk shit in my face and laugh in my face. Family did that when I had to go stay with them. So when aunts want to reach out to me and talk about something, why you don't talk to me, baby, I got to cut everybody off. I got to cut everybody off because something wrong with your children and you need to pray for them. I'm finna cut everybody off because for my mental health. You understand me? I don't recall anybody trying to help me through any of that shit I went through. Like they know what it's like. You don't know. But always got some shit to say. I'm the one who got abused. I'm the one who was touched. And when I could have really went off the deep end, people want to talk about that little stuff I did, talking about some, oh, she was promiscuous, oh, she a hoe, oh, she a dick sucker, oh, she this. I could have been worse. I could have been pimped out. I could have turned to selling drugs. I could have been worse for my situation and my predicament. So as it stands today, I owe no one no explanation for what I say on my platform and how I say it on my platform. You got a problem with it, you put it up your pipe and you and stay off my channel. And stay out my life. Because I'm telling you, it's a lot of people out there who owe you an explanation for how they treated you. They owe you an explanation for how they dogged you out. They owe you an explanation for how they lied on you, how they did not stick up for you. I think a lot of people caught amnesia on all the things that they've done against you because it was so bad, it was so vile. It was so low down what came about people's mouths. You understand what I'm saying? They think as years go on that that's supposed to heal it. Baby, it's a choice. I just want to break this down because people think that healing is automatic. Why you think we got a lot of hurt people that hurt people out here? It's not automatic. It's a choice that you have to make. That even though the memories are not going to go anywhere about what people did and what they thought about you and what they did not want for you and the action that they took to see you in a desolate place, you make that choice. You make that choice. You have to get up and push past the memories and say that you forgive them people and move on. And you know that at the end of the day, they're going to need you before you need them. It never fails. I told you I paid people rents, right? I didn't tell you how these people done staked me out and dogged me out. I shouldn't even been around them to be in a position to help them out like that. But I did. I told you I paid people bills, right? I didn't tell you how these people inside apparently bullied me in the past. You understand what I'm saying? These people will most definitely need you before you need them. Because God is what's been sustaining you. Again, when God appoints you to a certain position and title in your life, can't nobody take that away from you. And I say those experiences that I went through, everything of what I went through from foster care to growing up to grade school to abuse, being lied on, just having people omit the truth because they didn't want to admit what they did to set me off and trigger me, right? God will do it for you. I'm just going to tell you that. God will definitely do it for you. It's and I'm going to tell you something and I'm going to wrap it up. I think the hardest part is knowing when you have to be in that rebuild phase and you don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know who I'm talking to. They wanted you to be scared. Whatever the hell people wanted, I guess that's how they thought that they was going to obtain it by doing this to you, right? But having to rebuild and you don't know how the hell you're going to do it. You don't know how you're going to do it. And if they're trying to get you to denounce God and say that God is not real, a lot of y'all didn't even have the resources to rebuild at a time that you needed to rebuild. So when we put that into consideration and knowing that you did not have the resources to rebuild, but you needed to rebuild and you didn't know how you was going to rebuild, well, who helped you rebuild? Who put you in that mindset to get up every day, to fight for your life, to keep putting in those applications, to keep coming up with different ideas, to join in with different people that God was sending your way, right? Who was doing that? And I'm gonna tell you something. If you're so bad and you're deserving of how people treat you. Because best believe when somebody do you dirty and they do you for dirt, they are not telling people after they do you like that that they did you like that. No, they're not going to tell the truth. They have to demean your character and throw you under the bus so that your truth means nothing to anybody when you decide to tell it, if you tell it. So they hold this person's truth over your truth. Really, it's not even this person's truth. It's a lie, right? So don't nobody care for your truth. They care for these people's lies that was being spewed up out of their mouth. I don't wish harm, and you shouldn't wish harm to any of your enemies and wrongdoers and abusers who've gone up against you. But hear me when I tell you, if you don't take nothing else from this video, baby, I don't know where you at, and I don't know how you're going to get it done, and I don't know how God is going to do it. I just know he's going to do it, and I just know that there's a lot of success for you in your future. When somebody have to call that mess out and say, oh, it's a lot of success in your future, and they've been trying to stop it, and then when they sit up here and they come up against you, they have to say all these different things I keep telling you because they were on an ego trip on seeing you being knocked down. So, oh, how you how you got this, and how you bought this, and how you living, and what you done bought. Yeah, all these different things that I think people know what the truth is. I think that they think that you hooked on stupid and think that you don't know what's going on. But I think for a lot of y'all, it's been hard for you to let certain people go. You don't want to do that. You don't want to let certain people go because you don't want to believe that they've been hidden enemies in your life, that it's one-sided, that love is not unconditional. It is conditional. You understand what I'm saying? It's conditioned based upon what you can do and what you can give. Don't nobody give a damn that you was going through a tough time in your life, because if they did, nobody would be sitting up here taking from you. They would be giving back to you, helping you get back on your feet. So I keep telling you, the whole thing was to demean you and to make sure that you couldn't get back up on your feet, so that you couldn't be who you're called to be, so that you would be more focused on what wasn't working for you rather than what God is going to make happen for you. Okay? And if y'all want to look at my life, y'all can look at my life, baby. I do not care. I'll come on here and I tell y'all every doggone thing that's going on with me. I don't hold nothing back, and I don't do it for a check. I just want people to know that. So I do it because people did come for me, and they thought that I was going to be quiet about it, and I'm not being quiet about it. You know what I'm saying? So just know that these people are going to need you before you need them, that God is going to do it for your life, and know that I love you. And know that if God appointed you, can't nobody stop you, and can't nobody demote you and knock you up off your square, your position, or your spot. And on that note, I'm sorry for, my cussing, but I'm being real with y'all, because for me to go through a snippet of what I told y'all on this video, and I'm still standing and I'm still here, you already know that God is doing it. You already know that God is doing it. You know what I'm saying? You already know that God is doing it. You already know that God is doing it. I should have been out my mind. That shit should have really had me down bad. Because I never really told people how bad that had me hurt. Because people just thought I'm supposed to get over it, move past it. And no, that's not something that you get over and that you move past. Not when somebody is purposely in competition with you and have to compete with you on every doggone thing. That's a real nasty, vile energy to be around, especially when that person is trying to market it and like they care for you and they love you and they done been around your mother, and it's very weird. That's why I don't trust people. I don't want people around me, because I done been around a lot of weird energies, a lot of weird people. And I'm just at this stage in my life where I'm gonna get up every day. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And I told y'all I'm gonna roll it till the wheels fall off. And whatever God has for me, that's what he has for me. And he kept me here for a reason. He preserved me to prosper me. And that's what I truly believe in my hearts of hearts and my soul. And that's what I believe for you. He kept my baby alive for a reason. My baby not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. Eli had breathing problems worse than me. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't know what to do. The doctors, you don't know what that feel like when you got a 2-3 month old going through this, and the doctor's like, well, this is too early for us to detect what's going on because we never had a baby this early, and the father ain't around, wasn't around for the birth. It was like people just left me out and just shitted on me because I trusted them, crapped on me because they felt like they couldn't benefit and get anything from me anymore. And that's fine, because I promise you, people better hope and pray that they never lose their spot and that they never have to come to me for help. Because I'm not saying that I'm going to be spiteful. I'm just telling you it's about me and my son from this day forward. A lot of people who did you for dirt, I don't know how God is going to orchestrate it, but I do know that that's something that they just not going to get away with. Even if they get away with it physically, spiritually, they can't find no peace because you took somebody else's peace from them. You robbed somebody else of their energy, of their peace, and the life that they were supposed to have. You forfeited that and you sabotaged that. So I think a lot of people know what they did against you, whether they want to admit to it or not. And I think people are at this stage where they coming to grips with what they've done against you. And I'm telling you, baby, they gonna need you before you need them. And on that note, you stay prayed up and be blessed. I love y'all.